Hi guys, good morning. Thank you again for the great response, and I have also received a lot of emails today and yesterday with some of your scorecards, and you're asking me to give your feedback. So I would say just give me some time, since I'm working, and as you know I also have a small child. I would just be looking at your emails and giving you an in-depth response of what's happening with your scorecard, where you are currently and how you can improve. Meanwhile, let's get started with the video today. So today I wanted to start with the very first section for PTE, which is speaking, right? So speaking, as you know, that we have a few things there. You have read aloud, which you get in the very start, and then you have a repeat sentence, and then you get the describe image, which is the number third task, and number fourth is where you have to retell a lecture, right? And the last one is ASQ, which is answer short questions, right? So I've put down few notes for myself and few pointers which I can share with you. The first one that we have is read aloud, right? So you might get 4 or 5 depending upon the exam day. So the first thing is read aloud. As you know that you will get 40 seconds to view the passage, right? So, and you need to, how you need to approach it is, first, once the 40 seconds starts, you need to look at the passage, glance it, and if read softly so that the others are not disturbed, right? So try and see which are the difficult words, and also you need to have a good speech. I mean that it should not be very fast, right? That you're not running, okay, in the night I saw that, not like that. Your speech should be, you should be pausing naturally, right? If there is a full stop, you need to pause, and if there is a comma, you need to pause, right? So what you need to do is, you need, when the mic starts, it gives you a beep tick, right? So just leave a few seconds, like 3 seconds, and when that that line turns a little bit green, then you start, right? So speak, before speaking, I would say that when you are reading the passage, take a deep breath, right? And then start, so that you have a deep voice. Also, you have emphasis on the words, and understand what the passage, or you have read it already, right? So, and do not speak, like if you have the mic here and you have a headset, right? Do not speak closely to the mic that, oh yes, I can see that there's a passage. No, just leave little bit space between your mouth and mic, right? Because so that there is no air and gushing into the mic, because what will happen is, your gushing air will also get recorded, and it can impact your scores, right? So the second thing is repeat sentence, right? ये थोड़ा सा tricky है, because what happens here is that you need to listen to what the person has just said, and then you need to repeat it, right? So the trick that helped me here was that you listen to what the words are, and then you note down their initials, right? So let's say the person, or the computer is saying, the college will be closed tonight for the annual fest, right? This is how the speed is, right? So what you need to do is, you need to note down the first initial, which is the college, means TC, will be closed, W closed, T. So you know what I'm trying to say, that you need to note down the initials of, first you need to hear listen carefully what the computer is saying, that the college will be closed on this Friday due to the annual fest, and then you need to note down the initials, and quickly you need to read that, and you need to just repeat what the computer just said, right? So also make sure that you have, as voice में एक ups and downs होते हैं, right? So you're not going very flat, your voice is not going very low, or what used to happen with me, and I've seen with others as well, they go very nervous when they're speaking, so they are shivering. Some people are like, so don't do that, right? right? So I know it's not easy, right, when you have so much pressure, you've paid so much money for the exam. But I would say that take a deep breath and then repeat those words. And even if you have missed like annual fest, obviously PT will deduct your numbers, right? But then you still need to don't worry about that page which, or sorry, that line which has gone wrong. Go ahead and focus on the next one, right? So moving on to the most difficult part of speaking is describe image, right? So describe image is nothing but you get an image displayed, which could be a bar graph, which could be a picture of like a horse running, or it could be like a tree trunk. And then what BT expects you is to look at the picture and come up with your words, come up with what the topic you can see, what is the graph talking about, and what are the 5 key points that you can see. So how you need to approach this task is, first, if you have a map or a picture, look at the map or look at the graph, right? I'm just giving you pointers right now, but for every task I will be making a detailed video, right? So don't get me wrong if I am going too fast, right? So the number one thing is, when you get this a map, or when you get a graph, right, a bar graph, whatever, look at the x-axis and y-axis, right? Just quickly try to glance, okay, what is this graph telling me about? Is this about population growing from 1995 to 2000? Look at x-axis, y-axis, just note it down on your notepad. Look at the topic which will be right above on the graph, right, or on the pie chart, that the obesity rate is increasing in US, or the amount of people smoking cigarette, right, in Canada. Note down all of that. So what you need to do is, once you gather the x-axis, y-axis, and try to see 5 key points, like if it says that in 1995 it was less, it was more, just note down that with a note down in notepad, 1995 it went up, 2000 it went down, all. So you need to capture the topic, you need to capture the x-axis, the y-axis, as I said. You need to capture what went wrong, or sorry, what went down, what went up, and you need to conclude your graph, right? So what you need to do here is, once you do all of this, and then you need to summarize if you get time, right? But I would say try to summarize it, because it will help you gain more points, right? Then moving on to the next task is retell lecture. Again, this is also not very easy, where you have to listen to a lecturer is giving in university, and sometimes a speaker is giving at some conference. You need to note down again the thing is the same, the formula is the same, right? You need to first hear, listen carefully, note down the keywords, the 5 keywords, right? So what is the topic all about? What were the things he talked about? So what are the 5 key things he talked about? And what happened? And what went down, what went up, right? And what is the conclusion the speaker is trying to say, right? So note this down, and then again you need to start speaking that the lecture was mainly focusing on this, and in 1995 this went down, the population went down, 2000 the population went up, and the main reason the speaker talks about is this. So conclude it, and then you need to close your retell lecture. Now the last is answering short questions, right? There is a list there's a list of questions that you can find on internet as well, like 100 questions or so, and then you can try and look at them if it helps, because answering short question is usually not that difficult or Herculean task, right? So what you need to do here is, you need to first hear the question, like it will be very easy, like what comes at night, we know moon, right? So, or what comes in the morning, sun, right? So you make sure that you do not answer more than one word here, right? So this is what the speaking task is all about, and I would say that I would include a link next time, and you can include those words like firstly, secondly, thirdly, or furthermore, to conclude, to summarize, and all of those things. I will include that link and in my next video, and you guys can look at it, right? So give a thumbs up if you like this video, and apologies for if I've made some mistakes. I'm a human, so, and this is a very first attempt of mine to help you all with PTE, and I hope you are able to crack your PTE with flying scores. Yeah, thank you. Bye.